One of the legends in the online business space, Pat Flynn, says that online courses are dead. This is the end of selling information. It's the end of info marketing as we know it. And he has a pretty convincing case. If you haven't watched his video on this topic, I'm going to link to it below in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And it is a fantastic video, but I completely disagree. So we are going to challenge the legend himself, who's truly a gentleman in the space and one of my favorite content creators out there. He was also gracious enough to have me on his Smart Passive Income podcast a couple of years ago. But we got to ruffle some feathers and we got to react to Pat Flynn's take. Are online courses dead? Nah, not even close. Let's discuss. All right, friend, we're going to get into another reaction video for you today. I don't know why. A couple weeks ago, it's Alex. Now it's Pat. Just two great videos and reacting in two different ways. But this one I'm disagreeing with. But first, if you have a second, pause this, go watch Pat's video, which I'm linking to it below. He says that info marketing and the age of selling information in the form of an online course is dead. In his words, gone are the days where we can simply package information into something and put a price on it. There are ways, however, to position your expertise, serve an audience, and generate revenue, which I definitely agree with. In his video, it's called Stop Selling Info and Do This Instead, which I said I'm linking to below. He's got some really good points, and I'll tell you the ones I agree with, and then we'll get into my take. He kind of shows some data, and I don't know where he's pulling it from, but online learning platforms in terms of like revenue generated from online learning platforms, and the data in the graph he shows is that it peaks at 2020, and then it falls off of a cliff from there, and 2022 is kind of like the bottom, and we're sort of settling into something that's much lower than where we were before. What I agree with is that 2020 was a complete outlier of a year. And it's funny because when 2020 rolled around, everyone in my private community was freaking out. Like, we'll never be able to sell courses. I'm like, guys, I think this might be the best time to sell courses. And that's one of the few things I was for sure right about in terms of predicting the future. Like, if anyone had an online course in 2020, you made gobs of money. And what's good about that is that the good guys and a lot of us that have been in the business for a long time were able to serve a lot more people because a lot more people finally came online, heard about what online courses were. And if you were a part of it, you saw your business grew. I mean, my business 5X'd that year. In 1 year, 5X'd. The problem, though, is that anyone and everyone could sell an online course in 2020. And everyone and anyone was probably selling a course in 2020. People saw easy money, so you got a lot of people jumping on the platform. 2021, it was less, I think, than 2020, but it was still a great year for online course creators. I think it was just residual from 2020. But 2022 is when I started to hear people say, I'm struggling to sell my courses, and that would line up with what Pat's showing in that video. I think one of the reasons for this is because you're seeing all the fakers and all the people that jumped on the bandwagon get washed out because they didn't have a sustainable business model. They just had a course. And if you know me, you know that having a course isn't a business. Anybody can make a course. That's the beauty of it. But that's also the stupidity of it, is that anybody can have a course. It doesn't mean you're going to sell anything. You need a consistent way to generate leads. You need a brand and a culture that people trust and respect. And you need a consistent way to put offers in front of people and stack offers, which is what we'll talk about in a minute at the end of this video. So I think you're seeing when those numbers go down, it's all the people who realize they don't know how to sell and they don't know how to have a business get flushed out. I don't think that means you can't sell courses. I just think we got rid of all the chaff, right? The wheat stayed, the chaff is gone. So I agree with him that, yeah, that makes sense that the numbers drop there. And the other thing I do agree with him, he makes a good point, is that course completion rates are incredibly low. And he's got some data saying that the percentage of people actually getting through your entire online course, it was always low. It always has been low. I've been in this game for 15 years, since 2009. It's always been low. But he's got some data showing that the completion rate has dropped even more. And that makes sense. And his position in that video, as you'll see if you watch it, is that courses don't provide the full transformation that, say, group coaching or a private mastermind event could, which makes total sense. I don't think anyone will tell you that an online course is better than one-on-one coaching or is more transformative than an in-person event or even group coaching model. It has its limitations. We'll get to this in a second, but it has its benefits and it plays a role. So I just disagree with his conclusion. I don't disagree with some of the data he's showing, but I disagree with his conclusion. But I love his video, and I think he makes some great points of what he's doing and some of the pivots he's made in his company. I think is a great decision for him and his company. But let's just get to the point. Courses are not dead. Okay, just last week, I made $30,000 off of a course that I built 6 years ago and have been selling for 6 years. Just another 30K coming in off of something that I did 6 years ago. This is the brilliance of online courses. It's still helping people. It's still getting results and still putting money in my pocket. It's an ultimate win-win. It's still around 6 years later. So that's just recent. That's just last week, 30K off of this 6-year-old course. Last year, I launched a new course, did 130K in its opening week. Okay? Courses are not dead. I may not have the biggest numbers of everybody because there's no ad spend. I'm not pumping it. This is just organic, me selling to my list, right? It's 100% profit, right? So I might have had bigger numbers if I ran ads, but I'm just talking about just straight up emailing my list. I have a new course, 130K, okay? Courses are not dead, not even close. So what I want to do in today's episode really quickly is walk you through 3 things. 1, the 5 reasons why online courses are here to stay. There's not just 1, 2, or 3. There's 5 reasons why they're here to stay. Number 2, I want to give you the 3 things that your course needs to be able to sell in today's market, because it's not the same market as it was in 2009 when Pat and I were getting started. I totally understand and agree. And then number 3, and I think this is going to more align with what Pat's saying in his video, is how to think of courses as part of your overall product suite. Because I'll give you a little hint. I don't think courses are the only thing you should sell. They're not the only thing I sell. They never have been the only thing I sell. So let's get into it. All right, 5 reasons why online courses are here to stay. Number 1, people understand the format. This is one of the benefits of 2020 and COVID and the pandemic, was that now everybody was forced online, and it was like the moment the rest of the world understood what the heck an online course was. And that might have been you. You might have come into my world or someone else's world and bought your first course in 2020 or 2021. I've been selling courses for 15 years, but it wasn't until 2020 that everyone that was a normal gen population was like, oh, online courses, this is cool. I used to have to convince people what an online course was. On my sales page, people thought, do you mail me like DVDs or like a CD-ROM? And it wasn't because this was like that long ago. It was that nobody knew that you could buy videos through the internet. Do I download them? Am I streaming them? Is it like YouTube? Like, people didn't know what it was. People understand the format, which only helps you sell courses faster now. Number 2, and this one's huge. They're a one-time purchase. There's a huge push for membership sites, and they're also called continuity programs, subscription products. I'm a huge fan myself. We'll get into them in a minute. And I think that's what one of the things Pat's shifted to. Like you join a community and you're paying every month and you get access to maybe some content and some coaching and some community, some accountability. I think memberships are great, and I think everybody should have a membership. But people have gotten so burned out on subscription products because of all the streaming TV services, the Netflixes, the Disney Pluses, the Hulus. Every piece of software I know has moved to a subscription model instead of like buying the software and owning it, and maybe in a couple of years you upgrade to the newest version. Like, just pay me a little bit every month and you always have the latest version of the software. Cell phones, you used to buy a cell phone and then own it. Now they want you to pay just a little bit each month and you always get the latest cell phone. Everyone has moved to a subscription model because it's good for business, but it's bad for people if everything is a subscription and they're realizing I have too many monthly bills and money is tight. People are canceling subscriptions or cutting back on their recurring expenses. And so even if it's the same amount of money spent, mentally people are just like, I don't want to be locked into something. So they prefer, and there is a place for, and always will be a place for a one-time purchase, which is what a good online course is. It's a one-time, okay, I know what I'm paying for that. I pay it once and I'm done and I own it, right? So there will always be a need for that. Number 3, courses are way more affordable than coaching. So they're going to be the more affordable option. Me selling a $500 course is way more affordable than you joining my membership for even 5 months, or let's say a year, to get a full year's worth out of it. It's cheaper than that. And it's for sure cheaper than one-on-one coaching with me. Like, it's a 100th of the price, right? So there's always going to be a need for, there's going to be people that can afford your one-on-one coaching, can afford your group coaching, can afford your membership, can afford your mastermind or your event, but not everyone will. And that's why people still buy books, and that's why people are still going to buy courses. Those things will never go away. books have refused to die, and I think are only growing, and online courses will never die because they're the most affordable way for me to give you my coaching in a package. And I think with recessions, I think we've already been in a recession, but like with more economic turmoil coming, there's always going to be a need for an affordable solution. People are going to need information. They're going to need your system. They're going to need your methodology, and they're not going to be able to afford your coaching. They're not going to be able to afford your mastermind. They're going to cancel those high ticket things, but there's going to be people that will always buy your affordable course. Number 4, they're go at your own pace. You can make an argument that if you had a paid community that had a course inside of it, that part is still go at your own pace. But again, I think there's something that we've seen, and Stu McLaren is the master at memberships, and he says the number one reason people cancel a membership is because of overwhelm, not because of lack of value. It's the opposite. There's too much value, and they're paying every month, and they can't keep up with it, and they're missing the coaching calls, and they're missing the challenge, and they're not in the community interacting with people, and they feel like I'm not taking advantage of all the stuff I paid for. They stress out, they cancel. An online course is the most perfect product because I can buy it, and if I don't have time to go through it today, no problem. If I have a little bit of time on the weekend, I start to go through it when I'm ready. It's just like a book. I can buy it. I buy books. They sit on my shelf until I'm ready to read them, and then I can pick them up. It's on a beach trip and I'm reading it, or it's on a weekend and I'm reading it. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. I eventually get through it. Go at your own pace is super valuable for busy people. That asynchronous nature is really beneficial to people that are busier than ever, that don't have the time to commit to, I'll be there for every Tuesday for the live coaching call. And don't tell me, well, I record the coaching call so people still get the value. I understand, because I do the same thing, but they don't see it that way. They're like, I can't be there. If I can't be there, am I getting my money's worth? It's all psychological. And now number 5, this is my take. I think courses are the fastest way to get someone results. They're the fastest way to get someone results because it gets rid of all the fluff. It gets rid of all the time. And it just says, hey, here's the curated steps. Do this first, this second, this third, this fourth. You're going to get the result. Whether they followed the advice, whether they watched the thing, you can't control that. And there are ways to try to gamify the course. There are ways like you should certainly make your courses shorter than we used to. Maybe chop up the videos so they're broken up into smaller bite-sized chunks so you get a sense of completion. Sure, there's some psychology there that I think is definitely a trend that's worthwhile. But at the end of the day, you can't control what people do, but your course is still the fastest way for them to get the results. So those reasons will never go away. Courses will always be more affordable. They will always be at your own pace. They'll always be a one-time purchase. People will always understand the format, and they'll always be the fastest way to get someone results. There's always going to be a need for online courses. Is it making sense so far? And I don't know, put a pin on that. I don't know if Pat's no longer selling courses. It sounded like he said that in his video. But that would surprise me if he's just like, I'm not going to sell a course anymore. As we'll see in a minute, I think courses are a valuable and strategic part of an overall product suite. So maybe you focus more on some other products, Pat, but I don't see why you would get rid of courses. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, people want courses. They're always going to want courses. Okay, next section. 3 things your course needs to sell in today's market. So this is where I do see people made money in 2020 and maybe 2021 selling courses that sucked or were just whipped together or were okay, or they were good courses, but they had no knowledge of what they were doing. It was just easy to sell, right? Like the old saying, I think Warren Buffett made it famous, is that even a turkey can fly in a tornado, right? Like anybody can make money in a good market. Like you don't have to be smart or strategic. When the stock market's going up, stock traders can make money. It's easy because the market's just trending upward. So it's when the thing falls out, or when it's no longer that favorable environment where it's easy to make money, it reveals who really knows what they're doing. And maybe you're someone that made money in 2020 and 21 and you're not making as much right now. It might just be because you don't have a good system or you don't know what you're doing, and I want to help you with that. So 3 things that I think your course will need to sell in today's market, because you can't just put it out there and make money. I totally agree with Pat. You can't just say, new product, new course, buy it. It won't work. You need 3 things. Number 1, you need a clear promised result or outcome. A good online course is like a good YouTube video. My buddy Sean Cannell from Think Media says it great. For YouTube to be a great video, for your video to be great, make a promise in the title and deliver in the video. Make a promise and deliver it in the video. So a good online course is a promise, okay? Just like a good book title is almost like a promise. One of the greatest book titles of all time is The 4-Hour Workweek. That's a promise in the title, And that's what the book sets out to do. It helps you create a 4-hour work week. My first book, How to Get Paid for What You Know, is a promise. And then I give you the solution in the book. That's what a good online course should be. It shouldn't be like losing weight 101, because that's like halfway there. Okay, lose weight, that's a promise, but that's not very specific. It's not very clear, right? So maybe you have a more specific promise, like how busy dads can lose weight in 90 days, right? That's a more specific promise or outcome, because now you're talking to a specific person, a specific time frame. So just make a clear promise. If you've got like a course that's like finding yourself, that might not be clear enough. It might not be clear enough if you have a course that's like, what do you mean by finding yourself? What's the outcome they will have if they watched your videos all the way through and applied everything you taught all the way through? What outcome could they likely have? That's what you should be talking about in your course. On your sales page, at the very top of your sales page, or whenever you talk about the course, should be a promise of transformation statement. Okay? And here's a framework that works well, right? The name of your course is the step-by-step program to help blank achieve blank without blank, right? This is the step-by-step program for busy, ordinary people to create passive income without having to be on social media all day or feeling sleazy, right? This is the step-by-step program to help YouTubers get more views without clickbait. You know, like that's a great promise of transformation statement that that's what your course does, that's what you would want to then mention at the top of your sales page. So you do need a clear promise, result, or outcome, or else no one's going to pay attention. But number two, you need a clear framework or process. Okay, so like the YouTube course was the course that I referenced earlier. I launched a course last year on YouTube, and it's not my first course on YouTube, but it's my first one kind of showing how I leverage YouTube as a lead generation source for business, not just to get famous on YouTube. And so I have a promise for that course, but then I have a couple of frameworks or processes inside. One's my YouTube income loop, and the other is my rapid growth roadmap. And so like I literally have these frameworks or processes that I give people in the course where they're like, oh my gosh, I can follow this step by step. It's literally a roadmap. Go here, do this, first, second, third, fourth, and then they're going to get these results. That's what you're giving people, is you're giving them a map. You can't be there with them every step of the way, but you've given them the map. You've gone ahead and you outline everything for them. So the clearer your framework or process, the better. And you create that, you put it in the course, and then you pull it out and you put it in the sales copy material. You talk about it in the sales presentation. You talk about it in the webinar. You talk about it. You explain and you give it a name, like my YouTube income loop and the rapid growth roadmap, the YouTube rapid growth roadmap. Like give it a name, explain it to them. So like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Because now they realize that it's not just going to be a bunch of videos with information. No. Uncle Graham's going to give you a process, a framework, like a map, a system. That's what we're all looking for. We're not looking for lots of good information. I think Pat's right. Like selling information, we've never been in the selling of information game. We've always been in the selling of transformation. The information and the frameworks in the course is just a vehicle. It's just a tool. It's a way to get transformation. Pat thinks it's not the best way. I think it's a great way. And yeah, I don't think it's the best way to get transformation, but I can't do one-on-one coaching with 20,000 people at a time, right? And not everyone could afford my coaching prices. So it is a great alternative to take my one-on-one coaching, which I think is the most powerful way to transform somebody. In-person, one-on-one personalized coaching would be the most powerful thing to do. That's why the best thing I offer clients is an in-person VIP day as part of their year-long package. I work with you for a year, and that's pricey, but part of that is you get to come spend a day with me in Tampa where I work with you one-on-one in person here in my office, right? So it's like, dude, you can't get better than that because it's real time, in person, and it's personalized. A course will never be that. That's not the point. The point is the course is the way to get all of that goodness that I have, all the goodness that you have inside of your beautiful brain, and serve more people with it. It's not a replacement for your one-on-one coaching. It's bringing more people into your ecosystem who would never be able to afford it or be able to fly to you or be with you in person. So that's what people want. It's just a vehicle. The frameworks, the course, it's just a vehicle for the transformation. So come up with a framework or a process or multiple. And then number three, I do think this is something that Pat was talking about in his video is you need access to you. Like the people need access to you. And there's 4 ways traditionally you can give people access to you inside of your online course, especially if you use a platform like Kajabi, which is what I use, but most of them do this, is you can have people can leave comments below the videos. So when I log into Kajabi every day, I see a notification, hey, you've got 7 new comments across all of your products and courses. And so I can click on that and go, oh, inside of my YouTube course, Susie had this question about thumbnails, like my thumbnail workshop. And so I can just quickly answer her question there. And in my, passive income course, Bob had a question about lead magnets. And so I can answer his question about the lead magnets, and I can see them all there. And so they have access to me as comments. You can also include communities. You could package a community as part of your course where people can ask questions not only of you, but of each other. You can offer live calls. And these can be initial live calls when you do a launch. These can be once a month. You offer a live call for everyone who owns your course. Or you could offer feedback. One of my most popular courses for my first business, The Recording Revolution, was called Mixing University. And part of it was a mixed feedback. So like you would take the course, you learn how to take your song that you recorded and mix it, which is what we call in audio the post-production process. Like you film a movie, then you go into and you make the color grading and make the film look amazing and add special effects. That's what you do in music too. That's called mixing. And I would teach them how to mix. They'd go practice and do a song, and then they could submit their MP3 to me, and I could take a listen to it and give them feedback. It took me about 10 minutes. I'd listen to a 3-4 minute song, and then I would type up some feedback for their song. They get a one-time review. That was valuable feedback. That was a way I bundled access to me as part of one of the versions of the course, which is really cool. So I do think it's wise to at least have one of those 4. And at the bare minimum, if you're on a Kajabi or Teachable or any of these platforms, you're going to have comments below your video, and that's access to you. So you're good to go. So clear promise, result or outcome, clear framework or process that you mentioned inside of the course and in the sales material, and then access to you. And then let's wrap it up by talking about how to think of a course as part of your overall product suite, because this is where I think what Pat's trying to say in his video is that courses don't give you good accountability. I agree. Courses don't give you personalized information. I agree. People have a low completion rate, but if there's a coaching program or a group they're part of, they're more likely to participate and then more likely to get transformation. I agree. And the way I think about this is you do need to have some products or offers that fill that gap. But you don't get rid of your courses, because courses are part of an overall larger strategy. So I believe that courses are the entry point. Communities or group coaching are the next level. They're a back-end product to courses. They can be a front end, but I prefer to see them as a back end, or like, where do you go after the course? Private one-on-one coaching or in-person events are the crown jewel. So it's almost like 3 levels. Courses are the entry point. Communities or group coaching are the next level where you go for advancement or for more personalization and accountability. And then at the very top of the pyramid is private one-on-one coaching or like in-person retreats or mastermind events. And it is like a pyramid in that at the very bottom, it's going to be the widest part. Most people are going to come in, or you could view it as a funnel. If you prefer to see most people coming in at the top, widest part is the course. Fewer people then go to the group coaching or your paid community, and then even fewer people go to your one-on-one coaching or mastermind event. But as it gets fewer, they also get more valuable and more committed. The commitment level goes up. So why would you get rid of any one of those? Why not have all of them? In fact, I think the ideal product suite that I have and that I teach is 5 things. Okay, you ready for this? An entry-level course. This does not teach you everything. This just solves the number one problem or pain point your people have. The problem or pain point that just about everybody in your audience is going to have. It's going to be so common and so it's not a unique niche thing or an advanced thing. It's going to be beginner level. It's going to be the thing that everyone struggles with, and it does not have to be mega long. It's an entry point. I don't necessarily say it has to be low ticket, like $27, $37 tripwire product. That's not what I'm talking about, although that certainly is a strategy. For me, it's a $500 product. That's my entry point. How to start a business, $500. Everything you need to know in that for that main, that's what people want to know, right? But you could pull part of that out and actually say, you know what? I just want to teach you how to like come up with your business idea. That could be an entry point as well. But I think you need an entry-level course. Then I think you need a flagship course. Okay? So an entry-level course, so a good example again in my space would probably be like make your first $500 in 30 days online. And it'd be like 2 or 3 strategies to like just make money quickly. That would probably be a great entry-level course. It's like, because it's going to teach you probably to figure out what business idea you should have, like what niche you could probably serve people in, and then probably give you a couple of models like private coaching, how to land your first client if you don't have a product or don't have an audience or a website. Or it might teach you how to package up your first online course quickly. And I do have those products. I have a product called 1K Course Blueprint, and that's a good entry-level point, right? So solve a simple problem, get somebody some results fast. Great entry-level point. You need that because why? People are watching your YouTube videos, they're listening to your podcast, they're reading your blog, they're loving your stuff online. They want to spend money with you. They want to go deeper, and they're not really ready to like hire you as a coach. Some are, most aren't. This is a great entry point for them. They spend some money, they become a paying customer, they get a great result, and they realize, dude, your stuff's good. Number 2 is the flagship course. You got the entry level and the flagship. The flagship is like, this is the course that teaches my entire method. Everybody should get to this course at some point, and you should be good. Okay. So for me, that's probably my Automatic Income Academy. It is everything you need to know about launching, ideating, launching, and systematizing and automating your online business. Okay. So entry-level course, flagship course. You need at least 2 courses. Number 3 is you need a private community, a paid community. I do think you need some recurring revenue, and I do think communities are like a no-brainer product. Like once people have gotten a taste of your coaching through your courses and your free content, they're going to want to talk to other people. They're going to need accountability. And this is where I agree with Pat. And they're going to want access to you. And there's just so many cool things you can do inside of a paid community where they're going to get some like group coaching. You know, they're going to be able to see some training inside, and they're going to be able to talk to each other in a private group, much like a Facebook group. Like Kajabi has built-in communities with their new Community 2.0. It's amazing. I run all my communities through that. And it's a mobile app and push notifications, and they can talk to each other on their phone or the computer or whatever. Powerful stuff, because now your other customers and students are helping each other as well as you, and you're getting recurring revenue. The moment you get people away from the one-time purchase into your recurring revenue product, you really start to scale your income and stabilize your income. And it gives people that next place. Like when I have people go through Automatic Income Academy, they might launch their business and they might get their first product out there, but they have so many follow-up questions. A good membership site or paid community is the next place they should go. They've already got the course. Now they need to be plugged into your community so they can ask the follow-up question. Well, what about this? What about that? What about affiliate marketing? I've got this opportunity. What would you do about this? They need a place to ask those questions. And you need a place where you can teach one-off things that you don't necessarily want to put an entire course around, but you could teach your people inside that paid community. So it's a great logical step for them and for you. Next would be a high-ticket group or mastermind. So you've got entry-level course, flagship course, recurring revenue membership site type paid community, but then you need something high-ticket. And high-ticket group coaching, like, hey, I'm going to take you through an 8-week program or a mastermind. We're going to be together for a year, and it can be in person if you want, have some events. I've done my mastermind for a couple of years. It was virtual until I shut it down as I was writing my last book. Virtual. Like we just met every week on Zoom, right? It was a $15,000 price point for people to join. So it's a great product. We got people that were like, okay, I have your course, I followed your stuff, but I'm like already doing a certain level of business and I'm a certain advanced level, and I need like more like accountability and more advanced advice and personalized coaching. And I want to be closer to you, Graham, have more access. And so the price goes up, the proximity that gets closer, and the intimacy level goes up in terms of like how I can get to know them, they can get to know me, and I can help them and they can help each other. It's a great offer to have in your product suite, and it becomes an aspirational purchase for your people in your membership and your courses that even if they can't afford it, you're going to find people say, one day I'm working towards being able to join your mastermind or join your group. That's a high level. So you want that high ticket group or mastermind. And then number 5, last one, is if you like it, private one-on-one coaching should be the most expensive thing you offer, or an in-person event if you like events. And there's lots of ways to do events. If you don't like events, don't do them. They're definitely a lot to pull off. I'm doing one this weekend. But it's the ultimate. And few people are going to go through this. The prices are going to be, 10x to 100x the base price of your other stuff. But it gives you that full spectrum, because the reality is I don't think we can lump all of our customers together. And this is the mistake I think a lot of online business owners make, is we think about the offer as far as what we want. Like, I want nothing but courses. And then courses are dead. So I'm just going to go to like a subscription model and put all my courses into a membership, and you just pay every month and they get access to everything. Because that's what you want. And that sounds great to you, but that's not what people want. Everyone's different. So you need products and offers for all your different people. You have your 80% of people who don't want to pay you every month. They just want to buy one of your things. They just want to buy one thing from you, try you out. So give them that. Don't take that away from them. Give them a course or two. Then you've got your 16%. These are the people that will spend a ton of money with you. They want to be in your membership for a long time. They might even join one of your mastermind things or your high group coaching. And then you've got your top 4%. These are the people who have the most money, who love you the most, want the best that you have to offer, and they will pay 10x to 100x what your course costs to be your one-on-one client or to come to an event with you, right? Or join your mastermind. And so you want offers for them. So you want to create offers for everybody. That's not only how you make everybody happy and impact more people, but this is how you scale. You don't scale by just selling the same course to a lot of people. And you don't scale by just having a ton of courses. You scale by having a bunch of different offers that work in concert. An entry-level course, a flagship course, a paid community or membership, high-ticket mastermind or group, one-on-one coaching or events. You build one of each of those and more, you'll scale your business to multi-six, if not seven figures pretty easily, even in today's market. Pat, I love you, man. I think you're one of the best in the business. I think you're one of the brightest in the business. And I don't disagree with what you've chosen to do with your business. But if I have to come in here and say our online course is dead, it's a big LOL to that. Not even close. If you can't sell courses in today's market, you're just doing something wrong. Things might have changed, and things certainly aren't the same way they were in 2009 when I got started. But the product still works. The format still works. And I will say it again. I still believe we are at the front of a wave of selling information online. I don't think courses died 2 years ago in 2022. I think they're just getting started, and they're part of an overall strategy or system to have a thriving and sustainable business. There you go. What do you think? Are online courses dead? Yay or nay? Let me know in a comment below. And if this has been helpful for you, let me know as well and share it with somebody else. It would encourage me to get this message out to more people. And please support Pat's thing as well. Go watch his video and check out everything he does on his channel, the Smart Passive Income podcast. There's a great episode with the one and only Graham Cochran on there as well. I'll make a plug for that from 2 years ago. And support his stuff. He does great work in the world, and he truly is one of the real gentlemen in the space. He's a good dude. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you on another episode real soon.